final. But let's jump into qualifier number 6 here with T90.
Alright guys, this map is something else. This is Bedouins for qualifier number 6. Now, if you happen to miss yesterday, this is King of the Hippo 4. There were 5 other qualifiers which were played with the same settings, which is King of the Hill. And now we need to qualify to see who will get to the final at 1700 GMT today. Nimino is in the blue. Nimino is playing as the Indians. To the right, we have Odette. Odette playing as the Malians.
Yes.
In the teal above her, we have State of the Union playing as the Indians. In the green is Aquino. Aquino is playing as the Malians. In the yellow is Mifez playing as the Indians. And then in the gray is Canadian Ninja playing as the Indians. So a popular Civ choice is the Indians, Nili.
Yeah, absolutely. I gave them 4 civilizations to choose of. Malians, Indians, Franks, and I believe Goth or something. So they had different choices, and I felt like Indians are very one-dimensional, especially because they don't have Arbalists anymore. But it seems like everyone, especially with the fish bonus, still wants to go for them.
Yeah, Indians are a pretty cool Civ, but it was a necessary nerf to remove Arbalest. And you're right, I saw a lot of games with Indians over the past couple weeks, and when they don't have Arbalest, they're very one-sided, normally transitioning into those camels. So if you have a civilization that can counter that easily, and a little bit of mind games, I guess, going into the Civ pick. But Nili, tell us about this map, because I know a lot of viewers have not seen this map before. Tell us about, what this fish does, and overall what we're going to see here.
Yeah, so we have actually like big fish spawning in your TC, so the start is super fast, especially with Indians. But the main issue is really looking at the middle. There is all the gold and stone in the world, and if you activate Fog of War, you can see that even if the player didn't scout that middle area, it's all visible at all times. So yeah, people know what's up in the middle and can really fight with all information about the wonder.
Yeah, it's very interesting. I guess it's similar to Gold Rush, where you need to prioritize when you get to the middle to get those resources, but also there's a monument there as well with plenty of stone. And with 6 players, it doesn't really matter what your skill level is. It's a lot about timing, a little bit of luck, and a little bit of strategy choice involved. But that countdown has started now by Aquino. He just sent his scout out there for that purpose. And at the top right, you can see the monument time. And once that hits 0 with someone controlling it, there will be a winner of the qualifier, and they will advance to the final later on today.
Yeah, that's so true. And now a lot of people could think like, yeah, then I will just camp out and go in there and try to snack it when there's only 1 year left. But that's not how it works. Whenever the owner switches and it's less than 100 years, it goes up to 100 years. So ant sniping is not really an option. You need to hold it for several minutes.
Yeah, so it gets very complicated because it is a 200 pop game. So you yourself have the potential of 200 population. And then there's 5 others, and Nili math tells me that that's 1,000 population that could be coming up against you.
Yeah, so, unless we see the Goth, that's super true. And yeah, 200 against 1,000, not really working out too well in your favor.
So I do know some of these players. I've casted a lot of community games. Aquino, I would say, is probably the strongest player here. I think he's 1,700-ish RM 1v1 on Voobly. Odette might be right behind him, honestly. Canadian Ninja and Mifez, they are regulars in my community, and they play in a lot of free-for-all community games. And I swear to you, Nili, that these community games actually have a purpose, because I've been watching some of these guys who are regularly on my streams. They are actually doing quite well in your tournaments, and in the one community game you had yesterday, I believe Hank, who was green, who built all the towers, he won. So these guys actually are quite good with these settings. And so I think everybody here, for the most part, will give it a decent shot.
Yeah, so go and train at T90 official stream to play with the big boys here at King of the Hippo. And yeah, later on we have a prize pool of close to $300. So one guy who probably have never won a single dollar in his life will actually get $300 for playing 2 games of Age of Empires and beating other nerds on the internet. What a beautiful day for him.
Yeah, it's awesome, and what a beautiful day for everyone who is stopping by to watch Age of Empires too, because there's going to be so many games. and a lot of fun action for us.
Absolutely. So at the moment, population's pretty even, 21 to 23. We will see people, most likely playing a lot of fast castle strategies, and then we will see how people are trying to go for the middle area, because that is so important in this game.
Yeah, and it really begs the question, what exactly do you do? Do you go fast castle, or do you feudal attack your opponent who's going to have exposed wood lines? You don't want to make enemies in this situation normally, but I've seen in previous games of this tournament, which you casted, Nilford, some people did go for some feudal aggression.
Yeah, that makes a bit more sense if, like, you can actually snag resources of your enemy. But for example, if now Nimino goes over to Canadian India and kills him, there's not a lot of gold and stone that he can really grab off him. Controlling the middle in this map, I believe, is way better than trying to kill an enemy.
Yeah, you're right. Now, the player positions are kind of interesting. There's not a lot in it, but if you look at the minimap, some players are slightly closer to the middle. And also, I don't know if this will play a part nearly, but the right side of this monument is a little bit more open, while the left side has that extra gold and stone. So it might be a little bit easier to fortify the right side of the monument, where Odette seems to be actually closest.
Yeah, we will see about that. I believe the distance won't be too important. You don't have too many enemies in between you and the Wander. There's not like huge forests, so I believe the distance won't be the most important thing. But indeed, I think Odette actually has a bit of a disadvantage, because she needs to go very close to the Wander to actually go get gold and stone. Maybe you think like blue and gray can be a bit further away.
Yeah, that is a very good point. What do you want? Do you want to be able to build buildings there next to that monument, or do you want to stay as far away as possible because everyone can see there, and you want to stay safe? Well, I'll be interested to see what happens as far as military goes, as Nimino, for example, is about to click up to the Castle Age. I want to see if they're going to go aggressive.
Look at Nimino's base. Did he confuse the house with the mill? With the texture there? He's building the farms around the house instead of next to the mill.
Yeah, that is funny. He's okay. It's a little bit better now because he added more farms. It does kind of seem like that, yeah. Good castle time though. He's the first one who's clicked up here, so obviously the house mill strategy is working well for him.
Yeah, probably. So he isn't sending any villagers towards the middle. There are different approaches. For example, MBL will always try to go there, try to get a castle up, and try to bank up as much gold and stone as possible. Other players trying to sit back and maybe try to go for the first approach early Imperial Age.
Yeah, and I think we're going to have a little bit of downtime here. Even in the Castle Age, I don't think many players will be going that aggressive. They might just allow themselves to settle peacefully in the middle, and then it'll get wild later on. Maybe late Castle Age, early Imp. The big thing for me when I watch these free-for-all games is you don't want to make enemies, because people don't forget that stuff, and they're going to come back, and they're going to hit you later on. It's a little bit better if you kind of have the lowest score.
Green attacking Teal. Sorry for interrupting you. Kino went for scouts here, and Teal went up with Market and Blacksmith, so no real answer to that rating. And Kino, he is making enemies that we thought actually wouldn't happen, but seems like he wants to control the area a bit better.
Well, the rough thing on this map, I guess, is you go underneath that TC, there's not a lot there for you. The straggler trees are a little bit further away, and the scouts can fully surround, especially when you're on the way to Castle Age. So you do definitely take a risk when you go fast castle. You assume no one's going to be attacking you. I don't really get what Aquino is getting here. Maybe he's just damaging one of the flanks, so they're not as strong later on. But like you said, Nili, he doesn't gain much from this because most of those precious gold and stone piles are in the middle.
Oh man, and I just got another donation, and I'm putting all the donations that I'm getting through the 2 days of streaming here towards the prize pool, so now we're up to close to $350. So, man, it's getting better and better for the players here, and obviously so much more on the line, and yeah, they really need to play their very best strategy. I believe we won't see a lot of trolling from here on.
Yeah, I doubt we'll see trolls. It's always fun to see how, especially with the low qualifiers, people handle pressure, because the higher qualifiers, they're used to it. It's just another tournament. But with the lower qualifiers, it's nice to see people able to play in these tournaments and able to have fun with a little bit of pressure attached to it.
A little bit of pressure. I know, like the first King of the Hippo tournament, I actually know the guy who won, and we are, met each other at some German lands, and he wasn't able to give the winner's interview because he was shaking all over his body because he couldn't control his feelings anymore. That was $450 on the line, and yeah, he never won a single dollar in his life with Age of Empires, and he said like, okay, I can give you an interview tomorrow, and I talked to him a day later, and he said, I couldn't even really type anymore.
Well, I've actually played in quite a few King of the Hill games that didn't have a lot of pressure, and certainly near the end when your units are dying and it's at 5 years, you really do start going mad. And then you add on that there's probably going to be well over 1,000 people watching them on the streams today, Nili, as the viewers come in. And it's just all the money. So I can definitely understand it. It's got to be so stressful, but so amazing if you end up getting the win.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, Canadian Ninja, the first one who really goes towards the middle. To see somewhat placed, reasonable. Let's take a look. Yeah, everyone is seeing that, but no one else is actually going for it. So he will grab some of the juicy stone there for himself. Actually walls himself at home quite a bit as well, but still very open at the front. So I have to question how efficient those walls actually are.
Yeah, walls don't do much for him. Luckily, it doesn't seem like Nimino has any plans of attacking him. Nimino on the right side just has 3 town centers booming up nicely. Yellow Mifez, he also seems to be booming, so maybe a little bit of luck from some of these players are not being attacked. Aquino's attack on Teal didn't do all that much, as Teal now has 10 centers to protect, but Aquino is going to hit the Castle Age, and we'll see if Aquino wants to continue any aggression here.
Yeah, and Teal has 12 more villagers there as well. Aquino just reached Castle Age, so that attack was absolutely not very efficient here. Obviously, I believe with this format, not too important. Although, if I think about it, he even built a defensive tower, is now on stone, and I believe he will be one of the slower ones towards the middle. Look at that, Miff is going for it.
Yeah, Mifez building a town center in the middle now as well. Maybe Mifez didn't have that on the agenda, but everyone can see the middle, everyone can see these town centers, and Mifez says, hey, Canadian Ninja, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that too.
Yeah, and I believe that's the right choice, especially because it's so uncontested so far. That's super surprising to me. Now Nimino is going for it as well, so 3 players in the middle now. And normally I would have expected them to go for some towers, mangonels, some monks maybe, and just grab more of that middle area. But for now, super peaceful.
Yeah, it's the calm before the storm, because it's at 300 years, and once it gets close to 100, we're probably going to be seeing a lot of the big fights. As Nili said earlier, once it goes below 100 years, let's say Odette has the middle, or Aquino now, and it goes below 100 years and they lose every unit in the middle, it'll switch hands and go back up to 100. So you have to hold it for a flat 100 years, and it is getting very cramped in the middle now, Nili, as everyone seems to be building town centers here.
Well, everyone except Odette and State of the Union. So for now, 4 players there, everyone wants to get their fair share. But it feels like Canadian Ninja is so heavily going on stone, he surely will be able to build a castle in the middle here.
Yeah, he's going to build a second town center first. I think a castle would be a great idea. Again, you need to think about, do you want to damage someone and push them completely off gold at this point because they'll probably come and attack you? Or do you want to just build a defensive castle? But certainly right now, Canadian Ninja taking the initiative and collecting as much gold as possible, because you never know when you will lose it.
Odette with the sneaky castle here behind Nimino, so he will lose that TC in the long run for sure as well. And you just said the person will come back, but with what will they come back? Pikemen?
Yeah.
Skirmishers?
Well, the one thing that we could see, so let's say Nimino ends up losing all of his gold, and he will lose his TC. We could just see someone get pissed off and then raid their economy, which would definitely hurt them. Someone could go full light cav while you're pushing in the middle, and they could kill all your villagers. Your economy is separated into 2 halves. You have the food economy and the gold economy, so that's always possible. I'm a nice guy, Nili. I don't like to piss people off in these games.
Well, you don't really win those games by being the nicest guy and playing super
That's
fair.
true.
You have to be sneaky at some point.
Yeah, it is true. And now Nimino is going to get a castle sandwich. Canadian Ninja building a castle right next to him. And notice how Nimino just keeps relocating mining camps forward, so he's able to stay away from this. But now Aquino is building a watchtower, so this is not going to get any better, and it's just only going to get messier from here.
Yeah, I believe Nimino is basically off the main part of the land now. I believe those villagers... Oh god, okay. So changing the wonder quite a bit here. And yeah, Nimino will lose all the villagers. I believe even dropping all the stone and gold would be an option. Those villagers will not make it out alive.
Yeah, and he's not happy about it. Probably a little bit salty. It's not like he did anything to deserve this. It's just how life panned out for him. So like I always say, you do need some luck in these games. And he's going to try and continue to relocate his mining camp, but I don't think that's going to work well for him here.
And the big thing is, like, everyone sees what's going on there in the middle as well. And he's just trying to get some more gold. And yeah, it's towards the GC now as well. So actually, he is the guy with the highest score and has a solid 94 villager boom there, but... yeah, I believe you really need to, choose your civilization. Who has the best trash as well?
Yeah, okay, so this will come into play later on when Ornlu plays in the final, but Ornlu messaged me last night and asked me which civilization I thought was best, and we talked about Civ. And Ornlu is certainly not going to be one of the favorite players in that final, but I said you need good trash upgrades because you never know how much gold you're going to get, and certainly on a map like this, Nili, you never know how long you will have it.
Oh, Canadian Ninja built a castle and did delete it at like roughly 40%, I would say. Then Mythos getting his castle up. That was super costly for him.
Yeah, definitely a lot later than he would have liked, and it's not going to be easy to push back these castles. All players will need is a Maginot or two behind their castles to stop any battering rams. Everyone at the moment is in the castle age, but you can see Nimino is on his way up. Aquino and Canadian Ninja, so already a half hour in, players are advancing to the Imperial Age despite all the action we've had here.
Yeah, the only guy who doesn't care about the middle at all is State of the Union. He got his scout flush in there, but yeah, he has a pretty solid boom, probably trying to sell a lot in the market there, and then looks like he might go for skirmishes here.
Well, I think you're in a good position if you do come from where State of the Union is. If you were to go with Trebs and Rams and Trash from there, you're in a good position as everyone seems to be fighting in the middle. They don't have a lot. But, you know, getting that gold will require a lot of selling. Or maybe relics, which tend to be much closer to him at the moment, but he only has one. I see he has another monk that's idle. But yeah, this is going to be great, Nili. We're at 200 years, so we're getting much closer to the 100-year mark. Aquino has done a good job with his towers and walls to delay Odette on gold and give himself some gold. Canadian Ninja, he's going to be an Imperial Age, and he'll probably go with Krebs. A Mythes, unfortunately, is still in the Castle Age, so I expect Mythes to struggle.
Yeah, probably. He's not trying to go for stables and archery ranges there, trying to get the gold upgrade. He would get a nice chunk of all the gold in the middle, but doesn't really matter. At the moment, State of the Union, as you can see in the overlay there, selling a lot of wood and food. Let's take a look at the market prices at 66 for food and 41 for wood.
And now he's building a castle right next to Aquino's barracks, and Aquino is researching two-handed swordsmen and getting the upgrades for those. Now, as Malians, the infantry are quite strong. That will work out, but he still needs to hold on to the gold. And now there's a trebuchet for Canadian Ninja. He's making another castle as well. First, he is going for Mythes, who will probably be pushed out of the middle if he doesn't get to the Imperial Age soon.
I'm still very curious how they will play this out. I believe like castles, traps, skirmishers seems to be the option here for State of the Union. Now the first time that he ever tries to go towards the middle, it is questionable. And yeah, Aquino, if he goes for the champ cults, I believe with everyone not having endless amount of gold, he's in a very good spot.
Yeah, the champions are the trash killers as well. So if most players are forced to go trash, champions are able to kill those skirmishers and halberdiers quite easily. Mifez might kill this one trebuchet with these 2 camels. I think he's just going to miss out on it. No, he's going to kill Canadian Ninja's trebuchet with 2 camels underneath the TC in the castle. But still, it's looking very bad for him. And Odette on the right side of Canadian Ninja also being attacked by trebuchets. But she's going to make a push with rams, though they're not being upgraded to capped ram right now.
Yeah, but those pikemen are still tanky. +5 defense there against the castle, so they can take some fire. And let's take a look. Rams now to the front, but 2 castles very close by, and Mangonel as well. And I believe that push won't be the most efficient ever.
Yeah, Odette will... Oh, it's going to be very close, but I think she will lose this castle with 1 more shot from the trebuchet, even though she's going to go Canadian Ninja's trebuchet, and she's going for Canadian Ninja's castles. Notice how Canadian Ninja does not have any form of military. Really, the only person that has gone for nice military has been Aquino, and if Aquino is able to keep Teal away from him, he might have a lot of the gold secured to himself.
Oh man, Aquino's push is so good, and Odette indeed did save that castle there last second, killing the trap. And Union, he can only have skirmishes, so against those champions of Aquino, and he's still at the gold, I believe he is in a prime spot to really contest anyone here.
But really what you want is you want everyone else to fight each other, and then you want to be in a comfortable position with your economy. And if you look at the villagers in the middle, I guess Canadian Ninja is the only one collecting gold that much, but he's being attacked by red. Mifez actually is held on, but the score doesn't look very good. He's only at 72 pop. And then there's Aquino collecting gold untouched, and Aquino has almost fully upgraded champions.
Yeah, looks very strong. And when I decided like on what civilization we want, I felt like, okay, Indians are pretty strong at the start, but they need so much gold to get onto a good army, onto getting those Imperial camels. And I questioned how good they really are. A lot of people felt like, okay, that's a civilization to go to, but yeah, I don't really see anyone getting up to the very strong late Imperial Indians.
Well, also something we may not have realized, Nimino has done exactly what I said earlier, and look at Canadian Ninja's main base. Canadian Ninja he's below 70 villagers now. It's not going to get any better for him. Dead villagers everywhere, as Nimino can't get to the middle, so he's just gonna raid everyone's economy.
Yeah, but does it really help him? Like, honestly. Yeah, Grey will be pretty much out of the game, but Nimino isn't decreasing his chances to contest the middle. He's not, like, gaining more ground towards getting onto gold himself. He's just annoying.
Well, I feel like it does help him in a way. It's the long game, though, and certainly needs to be to the middle now. If he kills Canadian Ninja's economy, then it'll make it easier for him to kill Canadian Ninja's buildings in the middle and get there. But obviously Odette is already there. Odette does have pikemen, and those pikemen are going to be a good match for the Hussars. I think it's everyone versus Aquino now at the moment, though. 115 years. Aquino is looking to make a push here. Teal on the right, and I guess Odette below. Will Aquino be able to hold on?
Yeah, and no one really having the greatest army. State of the Union now having a nice counter army. There was mass hand cannoneers and Indians +1 range, so that's good. But still, that's the only guy who can really, put on a very competitive army here against Aquino, who doesn't really want to fight against State of the Union because he's lacking siege at the moment.
Yeah, and he does have something in his siege workshop. It is just a scorpion, so he doesn't have any auditors. He's just running around with his champion. I feel like Mifez needs to, if possible, make some trebuchets. Take down the production buildings from Aquino. Take down the castle. Take down the TC. That way Aquino does not have enough gold to replenish his forces. Odette does have the space now herself to be able to get villagers here and to collect gold, but she doesn't have a lot left after the initial attacks. So 94 years now, it's pretty much a State of the Union looking to fight Aquino.
Yeah, let's take a look about that. And the big thing, Odette has so much control of the middle area actually, but only 3 villagers working on gold there, so that's not using the middle to full potential. Now taking the engagement here against Aquino, but it's looking really tough for her.
Yeah, it definitely is. Aquino has a lot of numbers. He's at 52 military. Nimino's slightly behind there with those numbers, but Nimino only has food units, no gold units. But Aquino has been taking this fight, and he just lost the middle for a second.
Yeah, now it's back to 99 years. State of the Union trying to go back. Aquino doesn't really know where to take the engagement. At the moment, still 7 defense against all the ranged units there. But, it's not looking too great for him because State of the Union, without any gold, is building a pretty strong army. And now, Nimino is switching his focus and is raiding, or starting to raid Odette.
Yeah, I don't even know who you can give an advantage to. You want to say Aquino, but there's a large army from Teal on the right, and Aquino could lose everything here. As Mifa is now making some trebs to take down these buildings, it's not going to be easy for Aquino to hold on to this unless he just goes for it now. And normally when you go for it in that situation, you end up losing the game because you're sending everything through the middle. Even Odette now adding in hand cannons. So Nimino has a shot to get back into this. Canadian Ninja is probably the only player on 20 pop I don't give a shot, but everybody else should be in a good position.
Yeah, that's a true. Pop 22 there, super ugly for him. Trying to go for the reroam and still in it. He knows that, like, there are scenarios where the Wonder is switching back and forth. Yesterday we saw a game going 2.5 hours, so in the very long game he can still get back onto it, but for now he cannot contest the Wonder. I believe it's really between teal and green here.
Yeah, and Odette will be distracted by Nimino raid, so I don't think she'll offer too much with her hand cannons in the middle. But luckily she has a lot more villagers on gold, and Nimino now making the move back to the gold, Nili.
Yeah, but only a small amount of skirmishes protecting, and actually not really protecting, sending them close to his gold villagers there. But yeah, they aren't working too efficiently. He's getting some gold and he's taking the score lead, surprisingly.
Yeah, I think because of all of his kills and all of the hussars he has, he's taking that score lead. I think that if Nimino is able to contest the dead skirmishers, which he should be able to do with hussars, he might be okay, because there's a lot of space here, and obviously green is going to want to stay in the middle because it's at 56 years, but look at green's production buildings, look at his barracks. They're being overrun by State of the Union. The State of the Union finally getting to the middle with his economy. This is a great qualifier, Nili.
Oh man, I love this map. And State of the Union now, he already has a strong army and can only get stronger now as well. He's getting more upgrades, and if he can get hussars, hand cannoneers and bombard cannons, that's a pretty deadly army. And Aquino losing all the control in the middle, so he's going down from our favorite. And by the way, something we completely missed, look at his main base.
Yeah, I looked at his pop and I saw 38 right as you said that. Yellow went right to his eco. That's why Yellow wasn't in the middle. Aquino and Canadian Ninja, the first two to have a great grasp on the middle, are pretty much out of this game now.
And Aquino is still trying to hold on here. He's trying to micro his champions around, trying to hold for another 38 years, but that's not going to happen.
And now all the attention needs to shift to State of the Union, I feel, because State of the Union has enough hand cannons, enough bombard cannons, and soon to be hussars, I imagine, to really contest for this game. Odette has been distracted. Odette is fighting Nimino just to hold to the gold. Yellow has been attacking Aquino's main base. So is it State of the Union's game now at 95 years with all this military?
Well, he has a pretty strong army for sure, but it is pretty vulnerable against mainly hussars. So at the moment, Nimino's army, although it's without any gold investment, wouldn't perform too poorly against State of the Union here. But I believe Nimino and Odette need to team up to contest the middle here, because Yellow at the moment isn't having the greatest army to really help out.
Yeah, it's so hard to not be greedy in Nimino's situation, because what he's doing right now helps him out so much. He can send more vills to the middle. He's at 114 vills, only State of the Union is higher. But he does need to think ahead a little bit here and try and get the hussars and the skirmishers to the middle. And Teal's now building a castle just to fortify this a little bit more.
Ooh, and that's controlling so much gold and stone there. Myth is only having one more trap left, but that wouldn't perform too well against the bombard cannons. Myth is now trying to go for the raid into State of the Union space. Not 100% sure how efficient that will be, because we only have 73 more years left here, and I believe Nimino needs to focus towards the middle, because Odette can't. She's at pop 55 as well.
It almost seems like a 1v1 now, Nili, because look at the populations. There's only 2 players above 100 population. And Teal has his base fortified. Nimino definitely needs to be the one to make the move. The question is, does he know that it's pretty much all on him at the moment? Because there's so many players still in this game, but they're not contributing.
Oh man, and Nimino not taking care at all towards the middle. Let's take a look. Let's go into his point of view and see what he sees. He should see this incredible army in the middle. How can he think not focusing on the middle is a real option here? Only 60 more years. I like the chances of State of the Union.
Yeah, I think he's going to make the move now. But State of the Union cancels out his Hussars with his own Hussars, and he has hand cannons and not trash. And Nimino will have skirmishers. Now, if he can outwin the fight with the Hussars, then the skirmishers will do quite well versus hand cannons. And he's trying to make a move in there right now. But this is not going to be easy in the long run for Nimino. He needs to spam trash as much as possible and try and collect whatever gold he can. But he's on a clock here. Only 50 years remaining.
That was so poorly timed. He had 90 army and it will now drop to, I would say, roughly 30 there, because his production isn't really on top. He's trying to send in more, but still, State of the Union is going for it as well. Let's take a look at his resources maybe, and yeah, he can still produce, although he's getting raided. I believe I like his chances very much here, building another castle even.
Yeah, I like his chances, Nili, but he's losing some precious eco back at home. So if he ends up getting cleaned up, as Yellow now comes in from the other side of this castle, if he loses the middle once, I feel like he could really struggle. Yellow's doing a lot of good raiding with those heavy camels, and that will add up just like it did in previous moments with the other players. But with two castles, with this many hand cannons, with the choke points he has, he still is in prime position to take this game with 32 years remaining.
Oh god, the trap's not super efficient. Nimino not sending endless amounted. We see elephant archers still being produced, and Mythis, most of his army is dead now. It's looking so good for him. 27 years to go, but where is the army to really contest him? Nimino is trying to send in everything, but getting distracted by Odette, not helping.
Yeah. He's patrolled there, it looks like, and he's attacking Odette. Odette's just trying to help out, and that gives precious seconds, or precious years in this case, to State of the Union, who looks to be sending in villagers into the middle. I don't know if that was a misclick, but yeah, villagers running in from the economy now. He is really going for it here, and Nimino still does not have the numbers he needs. Yellow still does not have the numbers he needs to get to the middle and contest this.
And State of the Union now sending all villagers in. He knows that's his one go. Pop 150 only for him. His eco is completely in shambles, but there's still so many units in the middle here. Now the walls of Aquino even helping him out as well. I don't see how they can throw him off that monument.
Yeah, I think he's got it now with 10 years and this many units in the middle. Surely, the guy who neglected to go to the middle in the beginning of the game, he will win this qualifier and go to the finals later on today. Pretty incredible how the guy who chose not to go to the middle, and we were questioning that decision, had a game plan and was able to execute, Nili.
Yeah, he was using the market to perfection here. Played it very nice strategically. Got onto a very strong army here. Hand cannoneer so efficient against Aquino, and then Hussars for the unstoppable army.
Yeah, a really cool map here. That's the game. We had Aquino go down below 30 pop. Canadian Ninja go down below 30 pop. Yellow struggled with population that game. Odette is now below 80 population. And so you really know, you never really know how the game will go on this map. And maybe State of the Union's one saving grace was that he wasn't a target early on because he wasn't in the middle. And then everyone else was distracted. It allowed him to push. But you have to give State of the Union credit for clearing out Aquino to begin with, to start all of that.
Obviously, he had like the perfect counter. Aquino went for champs only, going for the champ counter there with the Malians, but hand cannoneers, the unit that I wasn't expecting to see too much, honestly, was really winning him the game there, got all the gold control and nice army control at the same time, and then going for the brutal all in, and did get the W.
Well, that means that he will be joining, what is it, 5 others, right? Because we only have 6 now. We'll be joining 5 others in the final. The final today, for those here on the live stream, is at 1700 GMT. And you can see the names on the overlay: Smarthy, Klavskis, Poxo, Ornlu, and Doubt. Those are big names. And, you know, some other people looking for the dream.
Yeah, that's so true. And let's take a look over the KD here, maybe, and all the stats. Nimino, obviously with this big raids and going for a lot of trash, did get a lot of kills in. Canadian Ninja, not so much. And we can see State of the Union getting lots of kills there as well.
Yeah, and also the economy. You end up looking at the gold there, Nili. 10k gold, State of the Union. He had a lot more than everybody else. Mifa is actually second place with the gold count. But then if you compare the food and the wood counts between those two players, State of the Union's strong food and wood economy probably helped him out there. Nimino leading with the food and wood, but wow.
Yeah, so sick. Timings obviously not too important. Trying to go for FC was pretty much everyone. Myth is a bit slower. Aquino after flushing was a bit slower. But look at the villager highs here as well.
Yeah, 145 villagers, and you can do that as Indians because it's cheaper to create them. And I think the extra food, the extra wood, the extra economy from State of the Union helped him get a jump start with the market, as you said, and then he was able to push to the middle and eventually hold it and win the game.
Yeah, sweet stuff. And now we have 45 minutes to fill, T90. What is our plan?
Well, I might